Today I'm checking out this diagnostic leak detector. So basically it's a smoke machine that lets you hook it up to, your cars or anything where you need to find a leak and it's not easy to put water in it or something like that. This is going to shoot smoke into there. It has a built-in compressor and everything, pretty much everything you need to do a smoke test. So let's go ahead and take this thing out of the package and see what it all comes with. All right, so when you take this out of the box, there's actually two boxes about this size in there. So one box is going to have the main unit in it, and the other box is going to have just a massive amount of accessories that will allow you to use this device on just many different things, right? So here's a bunch of caps of just many different sizes so you can cap things off to keep the smoke from leaking out. Here's a funnel to put the liquid in here for the smoke test. Here's a hook to let you hang this. There is the power cable here that connects to like a 12-volt battery and then plugs into this device so you can run it off the battery of your car. Of course, it comes with a manual that's going to go through, everything you need to know here. And then you've got just a massive amount of different types of hoses and adapters to allow you to do different types of tests. Here's a cone with a hose in it. Again, different types of adapters. This one, allows you to, basically pump up the bulb. So like this could be for like an exhaust or for like a, radiator cap, anything like that. You just press the button here to let it out. So it does come with all of these different accessories to make this thing as useful as it can possibly be. And, basically do just a massive amount of different tests. So if you've never used a smoke machine before, it basically generates some pressure and it also generates smoke and it pushes that into whatever you're trying to smoke test. Then you're looking for smoke coming out of any kind of leak that you may have. Let's say you're doing the exhaust on a car. Well, you put this in there, you start pumping it in with the smoke, and then you should see smoke coming out wherever you have a leak. If you don't have a leak, you shouldn't see any smoke. So now that I've got it unboxed, let's go ahead and test this thing out. All right, so here it is getting ready to be used. This is how I got everything hooked up. So the power port is right here, and I've got them temporarily right now running to this little 12-volt battery that I have. Then you have this little strap right here is used to hold this when it's not in use. This plugs in right here on the side. This is your smoke portion that spits out the smoke. This is the adjustment on how much smoke you want to come out. These are the buttons for the compressor and the smoke. So if you hit the smoke, that's going to do the compressor and the smoke. You turn that off, or you can do just the compressor. That's what those two buttons are for. It's also got your pressure gauge here for the compressor. Now, one note I want to do too is up here is where you fill the mineral oil to create the smoke. And you've got this funnel, and it's not real big, but I really wasn't paying close attention, and I put way too much oil in there. There is a sight glass on this side that shows you what min and max is, and you want to be able to see the oil in between those two lines when you're filling it. So it'd be like right about there. Well, but I put too much, and I thought it needed to be full, and I just filled it up. Well, that was way too much, and the problem with that is then you'll start getting oil spitting out of here instead of just smoke, because there's just too much oil in there when it's pushing it through. So just put a little bit of oil in here. It doesn't take much. I put way too much, just tiny bit. And that's my note. These things over here, again, are all the plugs. And these are just blank caps to cap off things if you need to make sure no smoke gets out. This little extra piece here is actually a replacement bladder for this. If this gets a hole in it or blows up, you can actually take this apart and there's another bladder it comes with. So this is just a extra if you need it. And that's it. So now that I've got all that done, let's go ahead and test some things out. So as you can see, first thing I did was hang it by the hood piece right here, the latch on the hood. Now you've got this sitting here, easily able to be read and hooked up. Then I'm going to hook up the battery cables so that way it has power. And then I'll pull the smoke hose down and connect it to wherever I need to do a test. All right, got the power hooked up. So now I'm going to turn on the smoke. And while that is heating up to make the smoke, let's just take an example. There's many different things that you can smoke test. Basically, any system that's supposed to be a sealed system, you should be able to smoke test it just to make sure that there's no leaks. But So this is an example. This is the coolant system, and on this electric car, this is actually where you check the coolant, not just straight on the radiator. So you would come in here, you take something like this bulb, slide it down into the neck of that, the filler. Now we pumped it up. So now it's got a good seal on it. Then here you would connect the actual smoker tip to go into here to start building up pressure in there and sending that smoke in. If you had a leak, let's say in the hose or at a fitting or something, you would see smoke actually coming from that section. So as you can see here, this thing has warmed up again very quickly. This thing heats up very fast and it's creating all of this smoke. So you would just take this, you would put it into here, and now it's building pressure. And wow, look at that. Now this isn't a leak. This is actually an overflow. But as you can see here, it's shooting out all the smoke. If this was a leak, it would be shooting out wherever the leak is. So this is the overflow. And that's exactly what I would expect to see. So these are very useful to find leaks anywhere. They can be used on any kind of sealed system where you need to find out if there's a leak, and you can't do something like fill it up with water or whatever. You have to have just air going in. And again, this creates so much smoke that it will easily find any kind of leak or anything that's in your system. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and pretty quickly the smoke stops. And I rolled it all up now. So now we're back to, a packaged unit. We can just put it up. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.